Hey everyone, I'm Caitlin.
I'm Bastien.
And welcome back to Wine About That. Today we're going to be talking about
Infinity Pool. Directed by Brendan Cronenberg.
Sorry, I forgot about that. I forgot that.
So, with the son of David Cronenberg.
Yes, I did know that.
The movie lasts a little bit less than 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's one actor that you really love, which is Alexander
Skarsgård.
And on my side, it's Mia Goth.
Which I love her too, I think. I have a girl crush on her, and I have like a normal crush. I have a crush on Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah.
But not in this movie, because we can get into that, but yeah. What was your feeling about the movie? What was your initial, what were your thoughts after you finished it?
So I was kind of really mixed in my feelings. Mm-hmm. For the reference, that's the first movie of Brendan Cronenberg that I was watching. Mm-hmm. I do not dislike the work of his dad, but I'm not a huge fan either. So I was just going there it seems cool. I like the concept. I love the synopsis and the trailer. So I was like, let's watch it. It seems very interesting. So
the trailer was really interesting.
Yeah. So the story basically is this couple that is in vacation. They don't say much the destination, but for me it looks like kind of Bulgaria or Eastern Europe, but on the Mediterranean coast, stuff like that, very guarded. So it seems that they're in a very dangerous country, and the resort they are in is completely fenced, and the military is protecting it. And basically he's going out with another couple, mm-hmm. and they hit someone.
They kind of lure him in. It's like this couple, they pick him out because they can tell that he is a particular type of character. You know what I mean? And they can kind of manipulate him into their group. That's all I'll say for right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, it was just so whatever. The synopsis is that he's hitting someone, he gets arrested, and when he's in jail, there is someone from the government that arrives and say, we have a kind of a pact with people, with tourists in this country. Basically, if you have enough money, because you committed a crime, here's the death sentence. And if you have enough money, we can just clone you and kill your clone in front of the victim's family. And so the movie starts like that. And it's all about this kind of concept of if you knew you could be cloned over, and then that you will be technically out of trouble no matter what because you're rich enough for that, then how would you live your life?
You have a limit. You have no limit to the mischief you can get into, because you can always have an out. Essentially, as long as you have money, you can clone yourself, which means you can commit a crime and your doppelganger, your clone, will get killed and not you, and you can keep effing around.
Yeah. So we're not gonna go any further in the explanation of the movie because after it would spoil too much. But the movie, in some regards, reminding me strangely a little bit about the movie Clockwork Orange.
I haven't seen that movie either.
But from Stanley Kubrick, which was a movie that really deranged me in the past. You see, it's a deranged movie that deranged me. But I don't know, this one kind of I don't know, it was really, at some point he got a bit too far in the concept, and you kind of a little bit lost. It's about dehumanization, because I guess the more you commit crimes or mischief or whatnot, the more dehumanized you get, desensitized, dehumanized. So there's a whole theory about that, and there's some nice twist, but there's also a lot of questions which I think are made in purpose. But the acting is great, but I don't know, I felt something was missing. The more I think of the movie, the more I think it was kind of cool, but there's a little something missing, and I don't know where to put my finger on. There's really something that I didn't grip on, and movie interesting. I didn't get bored at all. I was just at some point where does this movie try to bring me? What is the message that this movie try to to send me. I don't know. I was kind of like, at some point he's going in so many directions. I was like, yeah, it's cool. The acting is great. Movie is okay, but I don't know.
Okay, so
Sorry.
I'm gonna share my
I was on and on and on.
It's okay. That's okay.
I'm still processing.
I know, that's okay. I'm actually processing as you describe it, because I'm like realizing.
So now I'm
things.
gonna drink.
No, I don't know. I liked the movie. It's interesting because seeing the Northmen and seeing like Alexander's character in that compared to this character in this movie, it's like polar opposite on the spectrum. In this movie, he's a very like submissive, kind of dependent character. He's defined by the female role in his life. I liked the movie a lot because I really liked the movie, honestly.
A lot?
Yeah, I really liked it. I did. I just like those like weird, twisted, kind of like sexy, creepy movies. It was a very like sexy movie in a lot of ways, and it was a very like creepy movie in a lot of ways, as Bastian explained. It was really interesting to see the main character, Alexander, in that role, and it was so different from the last movie I watched with him, which was The Northman. Obviously, those are two different time periods and, like, you know, complete opposite characters. But it was just interesting to see, like, those two characters, like, back to back. And I love Mia Goth. She's just magical.
I mean,
like,
she's a rising star for me. She's like...
There's something, like, but, like, it's so weird because, like, when she's on the screen, I can't look away from her. Like, she just, like, draws you in. It's really something. It's really something. So it was super cool to see her in this movie. In this character, she was very like, you know, seductive and interesting and kind of like eccentric, you know. And
that's the thing I think that I kind of like with her, like in movies, is because she's attractive yet very scary to me.
Yes, like
it's very interesting,
very
like,
uniquely beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I think we can all agree, like she's very uniquely beautiful. Like she's obviously very sexy. She's very beautiful. She has a great mind. But I mean, when she's on screen, she's just a very like she always plays these very deranged, these deranged like hot characters. You know, you have this gorgeous woman who's also kind of like a little off. So she was like that in this film. Alexander Skarsgård was, you know, a certain type of character in this film too, and she latched onto him.
He's a writer. I think he's a writer in lack of inspiration.
He's a writer, but he's like kind of a writer that's just like in between novels, and he's just at a lull that's lasting way too long. And his current girlfriend is like really well off, and he just like, you know, he's like using her money, her credit cards. She has like, you know, she has an abundance of wealth, so he's just kind of like, you know, using that to his advantage, and that just kind of explodes.
There's something that is interesting because, and it's not a spoil, but you can see from the get-go that he's kind of a weak guy, you know, that is dependent to the 100%. To I would say the feminine.
Yes,
like
he's very submissive.
Part. He's submissive to the feminine sex, you know, and that's very interesting because that's where the movie kind of grab you because he's really attached to his like wife, girlfriend. I don't really remember, but then you don't really know if it's for the money or for the love. But then he's kind
so
of like
easily influenced.
Yeah, exactly.
So easily influenced to like a fault, to like a level of like it's almost pathetic because you're like, are you kidding me? Like, it takes, like, the flick of the wrist, and he's, like, turned his head, you know? He's so easily influenced and moved in every aspect, not just in the female perspective, but just,
I think
like,
he has a real weakness.
He's so easily influenced by everyone in his life on every level that it's just kind of, like, as a viewer, you're kind of like, this is kind of pathetic and sad.
But he's also lost, you know? He's also lost in his, like, you know, like, he tries to... But that's exactly the point, I think, of this movie is that is he really lost or he just pretend to be lost? That's the whole true. Like. That's true. I don't know. There's something very interesting about that because from feeling lost, he ended up being very very lost in this movie and yeah, I don't know. There's like for me, movie was very interesting, but I don't know. Once again, there's something missing. That I don't know what it is because the direction is pretty good. The story is pretty interesting. I think what I miss is clarification. And I don't mind movies that leaves open door, make you think about it. But at some point, this one is like there's a little, and I cannot spoil much, but there's like there's something really missing at the end where you really question yourself, and that's what probably many people will love about this movie. But I don't know. I was expecting something with a little bit more explanation because the concept is interesting, and when a concept like that is interesting, I like to at least have the director vision, which is lacking here. It's like, hey, I have this idea, and you know what? I'm gonna leave this open door, and people think what they want. And sometimes on such strong concept, I struggle a little bit. And once again, I don't spoil anything here because maybe you're gonna understand your own things. I'm just lacking a little bit something here. So,
and I think it is that kind of movie where it means something different for each person who watches it, because there's so many different details and situations and scenarios that there's just like a lot to digest and like latch onto. So I think depending on your personality, when you watch it, you're just gonna come out with a different perspective, because I think it'll reach to people in a different way. Because like I said, I really like it, and honestly, the more we're talking, he's had to cut out a lot because I keep spoiling, because I'm just like, oh yeah, like, oh, and I'm thinking, because it is like a movie where you're like, ooh, like, but yeah, I don't know, I liked it.
Yeah.
Do you want to give our ratings?
Yeah. So you want to go first? Go for it.
Sure. I give it an 8.
It's way too high.
No, it's not.
Way too high, maybe 8.
No, it's not.
I mean, I'll go for it. I mean, all right.
Okay.
So you want to go first? Go for it. Go for your rating.
I give it an 8, which Bastian agrees.
No,
and he'll tell you why.
No.
What's your rating?
Honestly,
He's gonna say 6.
I was about to say 6, but because you said that, I'm gonna give it a 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah, 5.5. Once again, because it's interesting, but something is lacking. So I'm not sure we'll like watch it like soon. So
Yeah.
like I said, it's not a bad time. 5.5 is not horrible. It's above average, but it's just not cutting it for me.
Yeah.
I don't
it
think
didn't
it's.
Like loop you. It didn't like reel you in.
But
like
I'm glad you liked it, and like I said, I love both of the main actors that we talked about, and I don't know, I just prefer them in other movies. I'm interested of watching more movies of Brandon Cronenberg though, so maybe we'll review them later. But I think that's it.
Yeah.
So 8 for you, 5 for me.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, cool. Thanks for watching, you guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you for following us and watching us every Friday. So we're gonna wish you a great weekend.
Yes. Have a good one. Enjoy the weather if
See you
it's
soon.
nice where you are.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So sorry about that. It won't happen again.
And it's called Wine About That, not Sorry About That.
Okay, anyway. Hey everyone.
I'm Bashan.
You see my video.